Here is the same question, but this time I'm going to do it exactly like the previous one. But here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this slightly different. I'm going to change a few things and do it and show you. Okay. So if you want to try it, you try it out. Otherwise, let's go ahead. Right, now this time, if you can see, I have changed the condition. I earlier checked for equal here or something else. I have basically changed the condition, and accordingly I have changed what has to come below that. So let's try run this. This also should give the same answer as the previous one. Question and answer 10. Okay, we should name it 10A. Right, let's go ahead. This again means the screen and the two variables, num1 and num2. And the screen is the only area the user is able to see. These two are for us to dry run and check. This is the user is never going to see this one or the two variables. It's only used for our dry running purpose. So let's start. Go there, show enter a number. So that message will come on the screen. Then you go to the next one, get num1. So whatever number user types in and press enter, set in goes into num1. So num1 takes that number. Then you go to the next one, again same thing, show enter another number, then go to the next line, get num2. So you type 20 and enter, that goes into num2. Now after this one, we are in this position where we are checking whether num1 is greater than num2. Num1 is not greater, num1 is 10, num2 is 20. So this is actually less. So when you say num1 is greater than num2, this condition becomes false, and therefore we go through the no side, this one, okay. If it is true only, we will go through the yes, but in this instance, the value is false. Num1 greater than num2 statement means false. So we go to the no side. And in the no side, we have another decision box. So where we are checking whether these two are equal. Are they equal? If they are equal, we are not going to print anything. So that's why I said after checking for equal, if it is yes, we are not doing anything. If it is no, then obviously it has to be less. Why? Because if it is greater, if num1 is greater, it would have gone through this side. It will never come onto this side. So it's coming onto this side because of this condition being false. So num1 is not greater. That means we can totally fairly assume, safely assume that num1 is not greater than num2 when you come onto the no side. Because if it is yes side, it would have gone onto this. So it will never ever come to this side. So when you come onto this side, we can assume num1 is definitely not greater. So now we don't know whether it is equal or less. That is why we are checking for that. If it is equal, we are not doing anything. If it otherwise means it's less. Num1 is less. Then it will come through this side and do the no part. So let's see. Is it equal? No. So we come to the no of that decision box, and that is on this side. Okay, so here if it is, since it is no, we go to the no side which says show num1, because num1 is smaller, we are printing that first. So num1 comes on, then you go to this, show num2 is 20, so 20 is displayed, and then we terminate. So that is the dry run with the lowest value first and the highest value, lowest value first and the highest value afterwards. It's printing the lowest and the highest one after the other. Now let's try the other way around. So this one, let's again have the screen and the two variables. We dry run, start, enter a number, message comes, get num1, so you enter a value, say 20. This time we are entering 20 first, and enter, that will be taken by num1. Num1 gets 20. So you can put any number, right? I'm just using 20. Then you go to the next line, enter another number. That message displays, and then you go to the next line, which is get num2. So it's waiting for the num2, so we type a smaller number, which is 10 in this case. So that will be taken by num2. So num2 will become that. Now we go to the, after this line, we have the decision box. So in the decision box, if it is yes, we do this part. If it is no, we do this part. Right? So is num1 greater than num2? For this situation, yes. Yes, num1 is a bigger number than the num2. So this statement is true. Therefore, we don't go to the no side. Instead, we go to the yes side. So yes side says display the num2 first. Why? Because num1 is greater than num2. So we want to print the smaller one first. Num1 greater than num2 means num1 is actually a bigger number. So we want to print the lower number first. That's why we are printing num2 first. So when you print num2 contains 10. So 10 gets printed. Then you go to the next line, show num1 is 20, which is the next line. higher number. See, in both previous dry run and this run, both it prints the lowest one first, the higher one afterwards, irrespective of whether you enter the lowest first and highest after that, and highest first and lowest after that, it doesn't really matter. See, the same NS chart gave the same output. And for that, we have manipulated the NS chart according to the way we want it. Right. So now let's try the same number. Same number, in this case, we don't want to print anything. So let's see. Screen and the two variables, you start, enter a number, message comes in, then get the num1. So you put, say, 20, 20 goes into num1. Okay. Then we are here, enter another number, message comes up, and then you go to get num2. Num2, we are typing the same number again and press enter. So num2 also will take the 20. And we go to the next line, which is after getting number, happens to be the condition. Is num1 greater than num2? No. Both are equal. So equal means it's not greater. So we have to go to the no side. So we come here. In the no side, there is another decision box, as you can see, which checks to see whether these two are same. So as you can see, if it is equal, we are going through this, not doing anything, because according to our NS chart, the requirement is not to print anything if they are same. That's why we have put null here. Otherwise, if it's coming to the no side, we know, because if num1 is greater than num2, it would have gone through this side. So when it's coming through this side, either num1 is equal to num2 or num1 is less than num2 only. Those are the only two possibilities available. So you have to logically think about this. So I am eliminating the equal sign by checking for that. If it is not equal, obviously this side is less, because greater means it would have gone through this side. So in this case, both numbers are equal, so it will go to the yes side, which is do nothing and end. See, nothing gets printed as the previous NS chart. Okay, so this brings us to the end of this dry run. So I hope I have given the same problem, slightly two different NS charts doing the same job. You can try your own version. You can write in different ways also, no problem. As long as when you dry run and see for all these three different values and you're getting the required output, you're fine, like what we are doing here. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this. Thank you very much. We'll catch you in the next one.